We are live. Well, good afternoon, everyone. It's Gina, and I'm back again with another episode of Create with Gina. It is day 21, and today we're going to talk about something a little different. Yesterday, we played a little game called Exquisite Corpse, or depending on the interpretation that you did. And today we're basically going to be talking about egg symbolism. Yesterday, I received a meme, I guess that's what it's called, from my daughter. And initially when I read it, it was kind of funny because it reminded me of something that I, as a parent, have said numerous times, and you've probably said it as well, where, your kid might act up and you said, you behave like that again and I'm going to slap you clear into next week. I'm sure if you're a Caribbean parent, you've said it. And the thing with this one was that it was basically saying, Mom, you remember that promise that you made to slap us into next week? Well, can you kind of just slap us into next year and let's just bypass the rest of this year and everything that's going on? Because we're kind of over 2020 already, so just slap us clear into next year if you can, right? And initially when I read it, it was just hilarious, and I busted out laughing. And I was in the middle of doing something else, and I said, I'm going to come back to that because I want to take a picture of it. But by the time I got to it, it was already gone because it was one of those like short-term or short-lived thing, like a story. But I remembered it enough to know that it was something that I needed to talk about today as part of our little art therapy session, or whatever it is that we want to call these little activities, right? But it reminded me of a movie. I'm not sure if you've seen it, and I don't even remember the name of it actually. I think it might be called Universal Remote. I think it stars Adam Sandler, and in this movie his character is given a remote, and the remote can basically be used to do anything he wishes with his life. So if there's a particular episode where he's having a challenging time, and he really doesn't like how he's feeling or how it's making him feel, and he wants to kind of get past it really quickly, he can press the fast forward button, and it just speeds up that part and he moves on. Or if there's a part in his life where he's just really enjoying it and he wants to kind of drag that moment out, then he can slow things down. But what happens in the movie is that he's given the opportunity to speed things up, and he speeds things up so quickly that he bypasses moments that are really, really enjoyable, really sweet moments, but he doesn't realize that until much further on in his life. And if you've seen the movie, then you know what I'm talking about. So when I got this meme yesterday and I read that part, and initially it was funny, and then I thought, well, why would we want to speed things up just because things are a little bit challenging right now? Aren't there sweet moments out of the challenges that we're facing right now that we would want to stay here? There've got to be some lessons for us to learn in these challenging times, right? Why would we want to speed ahead and just get past 2020, get past the whole coronavirus thing, and go on with our lives? By doing so, we might end up missing out on a few things, right? So I woke up this morning and all of these thoughts are just flooding through my head relating to this. So I wrote down a bunch. The activity we're gonna do today has to do with an egg. Either a plastic egg, which some of you probably have because you might have planned out Easter egg hunts long before this whole virus hit. So if you don't have the plastic eggs, you can simply draw a large egg on a sheet of paper. And I'm going to explain the whole connection with the egg in a moment. So my question was, why are we bypassing all of this? Bypass all the pain, bypass all the death. There've got to be some sweet moments in here, right? They've got to be. And the first thing that came to my mind was, well, everybody's quarantined. Chances are you're quarantined with family. So you've been given all of this extra time to spend with family. Hopefully it's not all bad. I know that some of the kids are probably having cabin fever and just ready to tear their hair out, or the parents are ready to tear their hair out because you've been cooped up in the house or the apartment and you're not able to go anywhere. But putting all of that aside, you probably had more chances to have lunches with your kids, because if they were in school, that wouldn't happen. In a brick and mortar school, that wouldn't be happening. You've probably had more family dinners, because chances are you're not working outside the home. You're probably working from home, and everyone is together. We're together at the same time, so you have a chance to have more family dinners, right? Chances are you've been able to connect more with your kids. Maybe you've played more board games than you ever have in however old your kids are. And you probably have also discovered that, I'm pretty good at playing this guitar, even though you've never picked up a guitar ever. But you're discovering new talents that you might have. You're discovering new talents your kids might have. And among all of this, you're getting closer together, right? You're getting closer as a family. So yes, there's chaos. Yes, there's pain. Yes, there's death. But there's all these sweet moments that are occurring as well. So why do we want to just kind of bypass it so quickly and just jump into the next year? Because 2020 has been tough. Yes, it's been tough, but there's a lot that we can garner from here. All right, so the thing is, we've already seen so many moments, so many examples of this occurring outside as well, not just within our home. And I want to share some of those with you, because I collected a few of them from off of the internet. We are already getting glimpses of how nature has basically kind of started to heal. And a lot of it has you thinking, well, was it this virus? Who's the virus? Is it humans, or is it this coronavirus that's going around? But either way, the earth is healing. We have seen skies become clearer. There was one day I went outside, and I think it was for about 3 days, there was not a chemtrail in the sky. And I saw the first chemtrail, I think, 2 days ago. But the skies were blue, and it was just really pretty, and there were you could hear the birds chirping, and it was just really nice. Then we hear about Italy's canals being, getting all clean. Yesterday I posted an article about the Himalayas being seen for the first time in about 30 years because the air pollution in India has cleared. And the list can go on and on. We hear about animals that are out roaming. We hear about just so much beauty that we're witnessing, so much change that we're witnessing right now. And the question to ask is, what would we miss if we just kind of jumped ahead? Let's just push 2020 as fast as we can and jump into 2021. What are we going to miss? The possibility of new species being discovered, maybe? New gifts that we might have? There's just a lot that we could miss, right? One of the things I noticed, I've seen a lot of posts are that people are discovering new gifts, and people are waking up and they're realizing just how much damage that we as humans have done to the planet. But we're waking up to new gifts, and the question is, how are we going to utilize these new gifts in the near future, the end of the year, in the next 5 years, the next 10 years? How are we going to be utilizing them, right? So in the middle of all of this chaos, we are developing all of these new gifts. In the middle of all of this chaos, we still have dreams. In the middle of all this chaos, we still have our visions and our goals. So how are we going to continue building our dreams? How are we going to continue building on our visions, right? And that's how I'm going to tie in the activity that we're going to do with those questions. So last night, I'm not sure if you had a chance to go outside, but there was a gorgeous full moon. Beautiful full moon, right? And it was called a pink moon. Not that it was necessarily pink, although I took a photograph and there was like a really pretty pink halo around it. So I'm going to say not necessarily pink, but for me it was. So one of the names was, it was a pink moon, but the reason why it's called a pink moon is because the first flower that blooms this time of the year is called the wild ground phlox, and that was pink. So it got its name from that through the Native Americans. Another name that of the flower is also called moss pink. Another name that this particular full moon goes by is grass moon. It's also been called fish moon. It's been called hare moon, and we know why, because it's close to Easter time. But the other name of it is egg moon. And that is the name that I want us to kind of latch onto for this particular activity, right? So it's called the egg moon. And I thought this can't be a coincidence. This just cannot be a coincidence how there's an egg moon at this particular time in our history with all of the chaos that's happening, right? There's got to be some significance to this, you know? So exactly what does the egg represent anyway when you think of an egg? Inside, let me just get my plastic egg. Just pretend that this is a real egg for a moment. So inside of the egg is the possibility for life, right? And after a few weeks, a few months, that egg will eventually hatch, and out of it comes a new chick, right? So the egg has lots and lots of different meanings depending on, there's numerous cultures, and I mention a few of them as I go on. But the egg represents birth, rebirth, could represent renewal. This particular egg moon, basically it signified that winter was over and spring was coming, or spring was here. It signified birds laying eggs. That's pretty much what happens around this particular time of the year, which is another reason why the egg moon is one of the names that was given to it, right? This just also happens to be during Holy Week. We had Palm Sunday this past Sunday, and then we had the full moon yesterday, and the full moon, and it will continue tonight. So if you didn't get a chance to see it last night, please go out and just take a look at it tonight. It is absolutely gorgeous. Another thing, and I'm tying in the color pink here, there's cherry blossoms, and I absolutely love cherry blossoms. But if you go to Washington, D.C., or if you've ever been there when the cherry blossom, the trees are in bloom, or if you've been to Japan and seen the trees in bloom, they're absolutely gorgeous. But the whole idea behind this being the egg moon is that spring is over. I mean, winter is over and spring is beginning. So winter was basically a time when we hibernated, right? We all got into, we didn't work at planting anything. We weren't harvesting crops or anything. It was just kind of a time to just rest, and that's pretty much what the earth was doing as well. And now it's waking up, right? But we're in the middle of this whole crisis, and things have gotten kind of ugly. But I think the significance of this particular moon was to tell us it doesn't matter how ugly life gets, there is still a lot of beauty to withhold. It doesn't matter how much pain and how much death, how much suffering takes place. At the end of this whole crisis, there's going to be beauty out of it. And I know it's hard to see right now, but I fully believe that. I don't think that we're being taken through this particular event for there not to be something amazing that occurs, something amazing that happens with nature, and certainly something amazing that happens within each and every one of us. So let's get to the activity. What exactly do I want you to do with the eggs? Well, the egg is a visual shorthand for new life, right? And for unhatched potential. So has there been anything since you've been quarantined, either willingly or unwillingly? Has there been any gifts that you realize that you have? Any kind of abilities that you notice that things that you're good at, that you've just discovered that you're really good at, and that you could possibly utilize if you've lost your job? Maybe this is something that you could possibly utilize to be of financial help to your family, right? So the egg also represents hope for new life. It also represents purity. The egg is also a symbol of fertility, right? In some Asian cultures, it's also seen as a symbol of luck and wealth. I have some notes written here because I did a little bit of research before this, because there were just things that were flooding through my head. This actually wasn't what I had planned. I did want to do something as far as the egg was concerned, but after receiving the meme yesterday and then the full moon last night, there was just all of this stuff that was going through my head, and I wanted to kind of tie all of that in with the egg. So what do I want you to do? Think about, different gifts that you realize that you have. Or maybe you have some goals. You've had these particular dreams and visions before, and you weren't quite sure how to go about doing them. And you're now in a place where you might have been laid off from your job, and you're thinking, no, this is the perfect time for me to build upon this dream that I've had for so long. So here's what I want you to do. If you don't have the egg, a plastic egg, that's fine. Like I said, you could easily just grab a sheet of paper and draw the shape of an egg. And on that shape or inside of your egg, for this one, if you have a plastic egg, what I want you to do is just cut up a few pieces of paper. And on those sheets of paper or those pieces of paper, you're going to write down your goals, your dreams, your visions that you might have. And once you have it written, just simply fold it small enough, and it doesn't matter, it could be one goal that you have, it could be 15. Write them all down. And just take those goals and place them inside of your egg. And I want you to go ahead and close it, seal it, maybe put a piece of tape on there to keep it shut. And at the end of this whole crisis or event that we're going through, see what happens. You're going to work on this in the meantime, because if you're at home and you don't have, apart from the fact that you have to homeschool your kids, and if you do have some time, work on something relating to that goal. Maybe you want to become a teacher. Are there any online classes that you could possibly take to kind of help you further that? So while you have this sealed, just put it aside, put it in a safe place, and start working toward achieving that goal, working toward achieving that vision that you have for you, for the grander vision that you have for your family. Right? That's what I want you to do with the egg. If you had to draw it, it's the same thing. Just write in your goals and visions inside of the egg. If you need to, place it on a wall, tape it up on a wall where you can see it, and work towards, do something towards your goal, your vision each day. And at the end of this whole crisis, you'll see that something good is going to come out of it, right? Let me just give you an idea of how the egg kind of ties in with different cultures. I made some notes here. The egg has symbolism in Greek mythology. It has symbolism in Christianity. We know around Easter time, a lot of people tend to have like Easter egg hunts and that sort of thing, but it goes beyond just the Easter egg. There's significance in Chinese mythology. There's significance of the egg in ancient Egypt, but I'm not going to go through any of these details because I know that you can do your research on your own. But I want you to look at your particular egg either this way, or if you have it drawn, and look at it as containing the life that you're going to be given to your particular dream, to your particular goal, whatever vision that you might have for yourself, for your family, or even on a global community scale, or on a global scale, right? And start working towards your goal. I don't think it's a coincidence that this particular moon has occurred during this time, during the time that we're actually going through this particular crisis, right? I don't think that's a coincidence at all. Yeah, there's something I wrote down here and I want to share that with you. It says, from the outside, eggs appear cold, but yet inside it nurtures new life. They're little packages of potential containing everything that is needed to create life, wrapped up in a little shell. They're little packages of potential containing everything that is needed to create life, wrapped up in a little shell. So visualize all of the little goals and dreams that you've placed inside of your egg, and feed it, nurture it, and see what happens at the end of this whole crisis. And it has to be something good. I can promise you that there will be something good that comes out. It's not a coincidence that this has happened during this particular time. What I'd love for you to do when you've done this activity is just simply, you don't have to show me your goals, you don't have to share your dreams with me unless you want to, because they do say whenever you share it with someone who's of like mind, it does help for them to kind of hold that dream and that vision for you. So if you would like to share it with me, please do. Otherwise, just take a picture of your particular egg and place it in the comment section below. If you'd like to share with me what you've written on each paper, yes, you can certainly do that. If you don't want to share it in the comment section below, just go ahead and send it to me in a message, and I will certainly help to hold that vision for you as well. If you decided to do it this way and you'd like to share that with us as well, feel free. I know that a lot of you don't like to be vulnerable when it comes to sharing artwork, but I'm not looking for perfection. I'm looking for you just having done the activity. And even if you just wrote the word done and not share the activity, that in itself will just let me know that you're asking me to kind of hold that vision, help you to hold that vision for you. Okay, so I hope this kind of made sense in how I was trying to tie it in with everything. Like I said, I don't think it's a coincidence that everything is happening the way that it is at the current time. And please remember that tonight, the full moon was last night, but it should still look really, really large tonight. Take a moment, go outside. I know I am like this crazy full moon fanatic. I went outside last night and I took a lot of pictures, and what I'll do is I'll share a couple with you, especially the ones that had the pink halo around. But there's just something about seeing a full moon and just watching that, the moon grow and grow and grow. Just, you can kind of picture your particular vision in here growing and growing and growing as well, while you're working towards it with. Give it energy every day. Even if you have to work on it for 5 minutes, if you have time, you can work on it for an hour, but give it energy. Feed your dreams. Do not give up on your dreams, because at the end of all of this, Something good is going to come out of this. You want to hold on to your dream, but nurture your dreams. Do not give up on them simply because times are tough right now. Okay? I want to thank you for being here with me. I want to thank you for sharing this time with me. If you do have any questions regarding anything that I've said in here in this particular live, or if you've chosen to go back and check out any of the other videos, please just send me a message or just post the question in the comment section below whatever video that you've watched, and I will certainly get back to you as quickly as I can regarding your particular concern or question. Thank you again for being here with me. And like I said, today was day 21 of Create with Gina. If you're looking for previous videos, simply type in the hashtag Create with Gina and you will find them. And there are 20 before this one, and I have, I think, about 9 more that I'm going to be doing in this 30-day series of the art therapy sessions, and I will be putting together a whole new series after this. If you do have thoughts on what you'd like to hear me talk about, please share them with me. I'd love to be able to do things that you're interested in. And the reason why I'm doing the art therapy one first is because I wanted to share something that was going to be a little relaxing, a little therapeutic, you know, with everything that's been going on. But I know that there's an interest in essential oils. There's an interest in different herbal therapies that I've been doing. So I'm certainly going to be putting together some lives for that as well. And I see that there's interest. Yes, Joe, I will certainly be putting together a few different these lives on a few different topics. All right, so if you have any questions, or if you want to share some thoughts with me as to what you'd like to hear me talk about, please feel free to share, and I will do my very best in putting them together. Art therapy is just one of the modalities that I worked with in order to heal my body. There are numerous modalities, but not everything will work for everyone. You can certainly pick and choose. Oh, one more thing. I'm also putting together like a 5-day challenge in which we'll get together like an hour a day, and I'll share with you different things that you can try, and you can see if that works for you and if it doesn't. And at the end of that, if you choose to work with me, I can help you to go on a much deeper level to start your journey to healing as well. This is a lupus page. I am a lupus warrior myself. I was diagnosed, I think, about I think I stopped counting after 7 years, but it's been at least 8 years since I was diagnosed, and for the first 3 years it was really hard. I think in those first 3 years I had 2 near-death experiences, and I can certainly talk about those because those were very interesting. So if you'd like to hear about that, I can certainly come on live and talk about those as well. But it was a very long journey from nearly dying twice from lupus, the lupus condition, in addition to other conditions that I was also diagnosed with, to who you see today. I can show you pictures. I can post links that will show you pictures of what I used to look like, and it would scare you, so I won't do that. But I'll post the links if you're interested. I had hair, and then I lost a lot of my hair, and then I grew my hair back. And then I decided to just shave it off. But the reason I shaved it was for childhood cancer research. So this really has nothing to do with illness. But I did get to a point where I was losing hair. I got to a point where I woke up on a daily basis and I looked horrible, from swollen face, swollen eyes. I did collapse at one point, and it's probably not too noticeable, but it did cause a problem with my face, where one eye doesn't really close, doesn't do the same as the other one does. I did end up losing a lot of teeth. It's been a journey, but I'm here to tell you that you can heal from lupus. I've done it. It wasn't easy. It wasn't overnight, but I did it. And I'm here to share my experiences with you, as well as share the journey, the modalities that I did in order to heal my body. But that'll come. right now, I just want to say thank you for being here. And if you do this activity or any of the others, just share those with me as well, please. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow, which will be day 22, on another episode of Create with Gina. Thank you for sharing this time with me. I know I went a little longer than I usually do, but thank you for being here. I truly appreciate you and everyone who has been on this page, supporting this page for, I think, the last 7 or so years. All right, I will see you all again tomorrow. Thank you.